Happy holidays, everybody, and Tony here with a tribute to a holiday special from the continuation of one of my most favorite superhero cartoons of all time. I'm talking about Holiday Nights from the new Batman Adventures, which aired on Kids WB on September 13, 1997. This was directed by Dan Reba, and it was written by Paul Dini. I remember catching a few episodes of the new Batman Adventures ever since I was a kid, and I remembered thoroughly enjoying each and every one of them. Even as I've been reading reviews of people who state that the new Batman Adventures is not as great as Batman the Animated Series, or there were some elements of this particular follow-up that fell short, let alone did not hold up as a sequel to the original, I could still go out of my way and defend this follow-up with every fiber of my being. Even despite certain character design changes, such as what happened with Joker's eyes, as well as Poison Ivy's skin tone, I could forgive that because there were certain character redesigns as well as background redesigns that managed to heighten the overall grimness and foreboding nature that Gotham City had to offer. And the other reason why I say that this was quite the worthy follow-up of Batman the Animated Series was it also managed to maintain the spirit of what made the former series just as awesome. And I consider the new Batman Adventures to be just as well done as its predecessor. And going to Holiday Nights, the main reason why I stated that this is an overall holiday special is because this doesn't just cover Christmas, but it also covers New Year's. This episode is divided into 4 vignettes, the first one taking place during the 4th week of Advent, as well as 2 days before Christmas Eve, the second vignette taking place during Christmas Eve, the third vignette taking place during New Year's Eve, and the fourth vignette taking place during New Year's Day, well, technically an hour after New Year's Eve. Starting off with the first vignette, we see Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy bored out of their minds, especially Harley Quinn, because she feels like there's absolutely nothing to do on the holidays. But that is until Poison Ivy has an idea. Cut to the Vreeland mansion where Bruce is attending Veronica's party. They even have a conversation of where Bruce plans to spend the holidays, and he prefers that he spends the holidays alone. That is until Veronica, as wry as ever, points to Bruce's cavalcade of fangirls who all adore him, and amidst the fangirling, Bruce gets a kiss from a mysterious shadowed woman. That kiss seems to have a very special spell on him, as that was planted by none other than Harley Quinn, who plans to use Bruce in order for her and Ivy to shoplift, or where their lingo is concerned, do a shopping spree. And the shoplifting montage, or shall I say, shopping spree montage, was my absolute favorite moment of this particular vignette because it had a disco version of the 12 Days of Christmas with the girls just splurging poor Bruce's money and his credit cards just to buy and get a lot of goodies in the forms of clothes, and even Harley wants a Christmas tree. When Harley demands for a piano, Bruce states that is not a good idea. Unfortunately for Harley, her kiss spell wore off, so she wants to do another round with him. Bruce fakes his own death, but he doesn't fool the girls that long, as he ends up suiting up as Batman. The final battle takes place in the toy store, where at first Batman seems to be beaten and bludgeoned by both Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. However, just as Ivy and Harley were about to rest on their laurels, Batman had one trick up his sleeve, and that was to use his Batarang to make the Christmas tree fall on both Ivy and Harley, thus defeating them. And we even get a nice moment of Ivy scolding Harley that since she wanted the Christmas tree, she ended up having it. And Harley agreed with a simple yeah, thus knocking her out. The second vignette takes place on December 24, Christmas Eve, where Barbara is doing some Christmas shopping for her father, and Lieutenant Bullock is posing as the mall Santa alongside Detective Montoya as the Christmas elf. Unfortunately for Bullock, he does not make a very convincing Santa until he encounters a little girl by the name of Mary McSweeney, who is the daughter of Mike Mad Dog McSweeney, a convicted criminal. Sure, Bullock knew that he had a scuffle with McSweeney, but that didn't stop him from giving Mary some money to buy something really nice for her father. The main reason why Bullock and Montoya are respectively in disguise as the mall Santa and the elf is because there is a theft going on, and they are involved in this sting. The theft involves 4 street urchins robbing something, but as they're about to be caught, the 4 urchins coagulate into none other than Clayface. Just as Clayface is about to waste both Bullock and Montoya, Barbara suits up as Batgirl and kicks the absolute shit out of Clayface, thus making them fall down to the ice skating rink. And Barbara was resourceful enough to tell Montoya and Bullock that instead of shooting directly towards Clayface, they have to shoot at the wired Santa statue, which then falls on Clayface, electrocutes him, and he's defeated. But not until Montoya and Bullock gather some evidence regarding Clayface, which manages to end this vignette rather well, although quite disappointingly for Bullock, considering that he's still on duty as a detective. The third vignette takes place during New Year's Eve, where the Joker interrupts Batman's and Robin's regularly scheduled watching of the football game, and he declares what his new evil plan is. Sure, he ironically states his New Year's Eve pledge, but his new plans involves a mass murder in the form of planting a bomb in Gotham Square. In order for Batman and Robin, who is Tim Drake in this incarnation, to not find out about Joker's plan, he ends up disguising every partygoer involved with Joker masks so that both Batman and Robin will not find Joker. Even more clever is that the partygoers are in masks, but the Joker and his henchmen wear earmuffs in order to not let the sound protrude to their ears and keep all the partygoers at bay. The countdown comes underway, but not until Batman and Robin invade the scene to do battle with Joker and his henchmen. And the greatest highlight for me was, of course, Batman versus Joker, given that Joker first comes in with a bucket of champagne, smashes it on Batman's head, and just as the Joker is about to open that bottle of champagne, the cork then lands on his eye thanks to a diversion of Batman, and Batman spills all the contents of the champagne on the control, which allows the bomb to be detonated. But Joker has one dirty trick up his sleeve as he shoots Batman with a gun right on the arm. Luckily for Batman, he had enough time to spill the contents of the champagne on the control, thus causing it to malfunction, the bomb not to be detonated, and of course have the New Year's bell fall on the Joker, all while everybody is counting down for the new year. Sure, Batman may be wounded, but Joker ended up having a whole lot of fractures galore. The final vignette, which is the epilogue, takes place on January 1st at 1:55 a.m., where Commissioner Gordon is seen at a diner with some carolers singing Auld Lang Syne right before Joe the barkeep makes them depart and reminds them to be back for St. Patrick's Day for another round of practicing their songs. Batman and Commissioner Gordon have a heart-to-heart of how Batman has been faring. Batman is recovering, and just as Commissioner Gordon was about to treat him to some cheesesteak on him, Batman departs from the scene, leaving cash for Commissioner Gordon as he goes off again into more crime-fighting adventures. Holiday Nights was thoroughly fun all the way through. We get the deliciously catty and tempestuous antics of Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy taking advantage of poor Bruce until he ends up disguising himself as Batman to kick their ass after they wailed on him. Batgirl being an absolute badass, beating Clayface to a pulp, and even using her smarts to instruct Detective Montoya and Detective Bullock to shoot at the wired Santa in order for Clayface to be incapacitated. Batman and Robin doing great battle with the Joker and his goons, and it all wraps up with a nice heart-to-heart with Commissioner Gordon and Batman, only for Batman to depart from the scene so that he can go on fighting more crime and keeping Gotham City safe from all forms of evil. Though the 4 vignettes of Holiday Nights were worlds apart, they still managed to tell a complete and thorough story, and it was all well woven from beginning to end. There was no sign of distraction, and I thoroughly enjoyed just how much tension and action there was in each of them. And the 4th vignette between Batman and Commissioner Gordon served as a very alleviating and relaxing way to soothe us, the viewers, from the high intensity and the thrills that we ended up getting in the first 3 vignettes. So it had that cushioning effect, which I thought managed to make Holiday Nights really well done all the way through. And while I continue to love the animation and the music, even with certain character redesigns, I definitely have to give it to the voice actors who managed to make this holiday special come to life. There is no doubt that Kevin Conroy's lethally virile Batman and Mark Hamill's sadistically gleeful Joker were the ones who managed to make this episode awesome. But this was also a great ensemble cast, as we also had the likes of Diane Pershing's sultry Poison Ivy, Arlene Sorkin's delightfully hyperactive Harley Quinn, Marilu Henner's wry and snarky Veronica Vreeland, Tara Strong's resourceful and courageous Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, Robert Costanzo's lovably oafish and wonderfully gruff Lieutenant Bullock, Leanne Shermer's no-nonsense Detective Renee Montoya, Ron Perlman's charismatically ruthless Clayface, Matthew Valencia's sharp-witted Tim Drake, aka Robin, and Bob Hastings' wizened and dignified Commissioner Gordon. All these voice actors managed to make my listening and viewing pleasure of Holiday Nights all the more worthwhile, and it's thanks to their unparalleled talents that they were able to bring their respective characters to life. So if you are hankering for more Batman-related holiday fun, you cannot go wrong with Holiday Nights. Each of the 4 vignettes has a nice story to tell, and even when they're woven together, it's all the more concrete and it's well woven from beginning to end. You will not miss a single event from each of these vignettes, and you will definitely have a lot of excitement, thrills, and fun with Holiday Nights. And for those of you who caught Holiday Nights from the new Batman Adventures, what'd you think of it? Did you really feel that each of the 4 vignettes was well told and well woven, even when they're combined together? Was there a vignette you really enjoyed the most? Or did you feel like this whole holiday special was not to your liking? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's it for my tribute to the new Batman Adventures Holiday Nights. Tune in much later for my tribute to Batman the Brave and the Bold's Invasion of the Secret Santas. So until then, happy holidays, everybody!